Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name's Dan and today we're going to show you how to take your current lawn and turn it into the Great American Lawn. We're going to do this in early September in most parts of the country when the soil temperatures and daily temperatures are around 70 to 75 degrees. And we're going to do this in an 8-step process. Here are the 8 steps that we're going to use. The first step is going to be to slowly reduce the cut height of your lawn. Wherever you're cutting your lawn out, we want to bring that cut level down to about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. Now your lawn probably will not like this. It will start to look a little bit brown. It will start to look a little bit stressed. That's okay. We're going to leave it this way for a while and we're going to need it at a low level to start the next process. Okay, well we're back and this is step 2 and you're going to perform this step at the time that you start step 1 because you'll need a few weeks for this step. What you want to do is get a soil test kit and preferably a soil probe. And what you're going to do is you're going to take this probe and drive it into the ground around your property in a few different areas and try to take out about 6 inches of soil. And then you take all of this soil, you combine it, mix it around, and then you put it in the test kit that is supplied with this, and then you send this away, and we'll look at this in step 5. We'll look at the results of this so that we can plan what we do in step 5. Okay, we are here to start step 3. Now step 3 is to dethatch the lawn. Now many people have dead material in their lawn, either the result of poor mulching or just of thatch buildup over many years. And we want to remove that so that new nutrients and new grass seed can sit down on the soil. And the way we do that is by dethatching. So we'll use either a dethatching rake. You can do this with a low-cost dethatching rake like you see me doing here. Although I would not recommend this. This is a very labor-intensive process. And the other way you can do that is by renting a power rake or by buying a low-cost dethatcher like the Sun Joe dethatcher that I'm shown using here. Essentially, you push this across the lawn and it pulls up the dead material. I use a lawn mower to bag the dead material and then you dispose of this material. All right, well we just finished dethatching and scarifying the lawn and bagging all the material, and you can see about 4 these bags are about 25 pounds each, so this generates a lot of material, and you can see that the lawn here looks pretty beat up in a lot of areas. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to aerate this with a plug aerator and then start putting some soil amendments down. All right, so we're ready to start step 4, and what we have here is a mechanical gas-powered core aerator. So we're going to use this piece of equipment to pull plugs out of the ground. That's going to give the ground some space to expand so that water can get down into the grass and that nutrients can get down there. So what this does is it's got these tines down here and these pull plugs out of the ground. This is not that expensive to rent for a day, and this will really increase how well your lawn grows. It is quite an effort to use this thing, so be prepared for quite a workout. I have about 4,000 square feet and I was pretty exhausted after doing this. All right, well we're back on the lawn after aerating the lawn, and as you can see behind me, the grass has plugs sitting on it. These are the plugs that the aerator pulled out, and this is going to help allow the soil that is not in the plugs to loosen up so that roots can grow a little bit easier. We want to leave these plugs on top, and they will eventually decompose back down to soil and help the grass grow even better in the long run. Okay, so now we are here on my computer, and what we have done is we have pulled up the website for the soil test that we ordered back during step 2. And what we're seeing on the screen is a printout of the different nutrients and micronutrients and the pH of the lawn. And so the big 3 that we look at are the macronutrients: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. And as you can see, the nitrogen levels in my lawn are pretty low. The phosphorus levels are a bit high, and the potassium levels are just within the range of where we want to be. So what this means is, over time, as we choose fertilizers, we want to choose fertilizers a little bit lower in phosphorus and a little bit high, most high in nitrogen and a little high in potassium. So you want to keep that in mind as you order fertilizers over the next several years for your lawn, and you probably want to repeat this process every once in a while. And then the other thing we really will pay a lot of attention to is the pH over here. And as you can see, it is just peaking into the optimal range, but I want to raise this more, so we're going to put down some lime to do that. This website's also pretty good. It's got some products over here that it will recommend to you. But this is where you want to start as we continue into step 5. All right, now we're on to step 5, which is to start adding soil amendments to modify the soil to help the composition of the soil better support great grass. So from the reports on the My Soil website, or from your soil test, I know that I need to raise the pH of my soil, and I also know from where the soil started that I want to add some microorganisms and things to make the soil more alive and vibrant. So what I've chosen to do is put down Lesco Carbon Pro G and Jonathan Green Magical to raise the pH. We're going to do this with a broadcast spreader. 1 pass for each product, and then we'll move on to step 6, which is to overseed the lawn and put down some topsoil. All right, we are on to step 6 now. We have put down the soil amendments and made adjustments to our soil and pH. And now we're going to put down some grass seed and some topsoil. I've chosen a very good grass seed for this. This is Ryan Knorr's Elite Turf Grass. It's a mix of tall fescue and Kentucky bluegrass. It's relatively expensive, and you really don't want to skimp on this step. If you're going to get a better lawn, you want to put down high quality grass seed that has absolutely no weed seed in it, and that's what you pay for. Great quality grass seed with 0 weed seed in it. So that's what this is. Now, we're going to mix the topsoil and the seed together so that there's great seed to soil contact, and we're going to put that mixture down with a compost spreader. But before we do that, we're going to put just a very light amount of grass seed down on top of the lawn right now bare, so that some of that seed may go into the aerated holes and into the channels that we created with the scarifying process. And that also has great seed to soil contact, and that seed will sit just a little bit lower than the seed we're going to put on, and that's a good thing. So we're going to put some seed into our spreader, and then we are going to put this down, and then we will mix the topsoil and seed together. All right, so we're continuing step 6, which is to overseed the lawn and put down topsoil. And so the way I've chosen to do this is using a compost spreader, which is this device here. You fill this with soil and you roll it over the lawn, and it gradually puts it down. Now, you can do this by hand with the shovel, but this is certainly a much easier way to do it, and it gets very consistent results. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Scott's Premium Topsoil. You can see I've had a large pile of it put here. My friend Trevor helped me do this morning. And what we're going to do is, we know by experimentation that one of these bags puts down about 100 square feet of topsoil using this method. And the overseeding rate for this grass seed is about 6 pounds per 1,000 square feet. So basically that means that every bag of this I put in, I need to put about 0.6 pounds of seed in it. So what we're going to do is fill up our wheelbarrow with a few bags and then weigh out the grass seed that belongs with that soil, mix it up with a hoe, and then load it into this and push this across the lawn in a nice even pattern. All right, so we're at the next to final step. We have just put down our topsoil and overseeded the lawn with a compost spreader, or done this by hand, or used like a top dressing machine to do that, or a slit seeder. And now we have to put down a starter fertilizer before our last step, which will be a water program. So I've chosen Stott's Turf Builder Starter for new grass. I'm gonna put this down and then we will start the watering program. All right, well, we are done. We have put down the starter fertilizer and now we are on our last step. And essentially this step, at the very least until the grass seed starts to germinate and grows well, is to keep the grass seed wet. So this may mean you're running your sprinklers 3 to 4 times a day in the late morning, afternoon, mid-afternoon, and evening. But you want to see the sprinklers running. You want to make sure that the grass seed does not dry out. And that is it. That is our ultimate fall lawn overseeding process. And if you do this process, I guarantee you in about 6 weeks, you will have an amazing lawn. Thanks very much. Happy making. Let's make those great American lawns. Well, I hope you enjoyed that and found it educational and helpful. If you think I earned it, please like and subscribe and ring the bell down below so you get notifications for new videos. Until next time, happy making.